Sleeping on the road has been a learning process to say the least. Some nights I wake up with a beautiful sunrise in a quiet location and it's absolutely magical. And some nights I wake up in a Walmart parking lot or on the side of the freeway at a rest stop and I want to rip my head off because the sound of trucks passing in the night is so loud I can't get a lick of sleep. Luckily, this night was a night of good rest. This morning, I found myself outside of the Guadalupe Mountains National Park in West Texas. I stepped out, had a morning stretch, and saw the sunrise. And when I saw this mountain, I knew exactly what I had to do. I want to climb up there. I want to climb up there. All right, this was kind of unplanned for. I knew I was going to make it up to one summit, Guadalupe Peak, 8,000 and some feet. But I found out you can camp up there, and there's also another interesting summit that you can reach from there, which is called El Capitan. I need to hike with a backcountry hiking permit to make it to the bushwhacking section of the trail, and one for my camping part. I need to bring 2 of these, which I've never seen before, a Biffy bag, so you can pack out if you go number 2, and you need to bring 2 gallons of water. And this is a very impromptu plan, so I don't have any specific backpacking meals or any food. So it looks like it's going to be another dirtbag dinner of beans and beans and cheese. And maybe I'll bring a jalapeno as well. I'm always thinking in terms of what can I minimize weight-wise in my pack so that I can exchange that weight for more camera gear. So I'm not really minimizing weight, I'm just opening up space for things that are really heavier. The last things I had to do before I could get up in the mountains was to have a final meal, pack in as many calories, and I had a quick stretching session before putting in almost 3,000 vertical feet in one day. The hike started in perfect pants and t-shirt weather, and there was a slight breeze. I did happen to check the forecast, and it said, chance of rain and slightly high winds. Oh, how naive I was about what was in store for me. The hike was only on incline, which was expected, so it wasn't too bad, and exposed at sections, and everything was going fine until I started seeing these signs of bad weather coming. It's starting to get super windy, and it's raining. I'm almost to the campsite, so I can hunker down, but it's getting kind of rough out here, not gonna lie. Alright, I finally made it. Time to get out of this cold wind and rain and set up my tent. Words fall short on expressing how hard it was to set up this tent. You'd think that a tent pad like this, it would be easy to stake your tent. No, wrong. There was rocks all underground that would break and bend my stakes. The wind would pull away the corner that I was trying to work with. It was just a very annoying experience while it was raining and the wind was just blowing so hard. I had to do some less than ideal rigging for the tent setup that I'll show later in the video. Alright, I set the tent up literally as best as I possibly could, but this underground is just full of rocks and it's so bad for staking. I put as many rocks as I possibly could. You can kind of tell, maybe. Anyway, I'm putting the heaviest things I can in the corners, my tripod, water, my head and feet, and I'm really putting this tent, my tent putting up abilities to the test tonight. There's going to be gusts of up to 60 miles an hour. Of course, if it gets too treacherous, I can hike back down the mountain. It's 6 miles. It's really not that big of a deal. So, well, now I'm just going to get cozy and listen to a podcast or an audiobook or something and pass the time until sunset. And then I'm going to go to sleep as early as I can so that I can wake up. I think I'm going to shoot for 4 in the morning. So that I can be in the prime photo spot during sunrise, and also just to avoid the worst time of the wind. Here's what happens when you don't plan too far ahead for backpacking. Dinner's an avocado, a jalapeno, a bell pepper, and a can of black beans for later. Yum.
This is what it actually looked like being inside the tent last night. Those other videos don't do it justice. However, I actually slept better than I expected, even though I did feel like my tent was going to blow away with me inside of it. The tent stakes alone weren't enough, so what I had to do was scrounge around the camp, and I found this old nylon rope or string thing, placed a stick through it, and laid all those rocks on top of it. And just like that, it held down better than if it was just the stakes.
All right, the campsite's down. I'm gonna go try to attack Guadalupe Peak Summit. I don't know if El Capitan is gonna be possible in this weather. I'll decide when I'm up there, but it's fairly exposed at sections, and with this sort of wind, it might just not be worth it.
The wind was absolutely brutal, and it was cold and loud. So when I finally saw the parking lot and eventually made it back to my car, oh my God, it felt so good. And especially since I opened up the door and it's my whole house and I can just go right to sleep. So that's exactly what I did. Took a nap, woke up, made dinner, watched this unbelievable sunset. I mean, you can just see the wind in the clouds. So then I made dinner and I just went right back to sleep. The next day, the weather just was amazing. I can't believe that my permits were for the day before and I got that horrible wind and it stopped me from making the summit I wanted, but oh well. So I got up, had a little bit of breakfast, and went for a smaller adventure for today. As much as I love pushing myself in the mountains, I equally love a day where I can find a beautiful spot, lay in the sun, take out my journal, collect my thoughts, think about what I want my life to look like in 5 years, where I'm going, what I'm doing, just reflect and enjoy where I am. And with that, my time at the Guadalupe Mountains was over. After that day, I just felt the urge to move, so I packed up and hit the road again. But first, my car desperately needed a car wash as it still had salt from the roads from the Midwest. So I took it to the car wash, and I can tell that my car was just celebrating.